Good morning. I think I'm going to call these videos like Joseph Morning Walk and Talks, Manifestation Walk and Talks, or something like this. Today's video is going to be on 7-day mental diet. This was originally created by Emmit Fox. It's raining. Wonderful. I love the rain. In my opinion, this is the most important thing that you can do to live a happy and desirable life. There's all these talks of food diets and all this stuff, but very little talk about mental diets. And if we know that my internal conversations create my reality, what could be more important? What else could I do with my time? What else could be more important in my whole entire life? There's nothing. Okay, with that being said, this 7-day mental diet, I want to challenge you. For the next week, be mindful, super mindful. Do not allow a single thought pass your consciousness without you being aware of it and choosing it. I found a helpful thing to do is to have a vision of who you desire to be. Right? I'm a loving husband. I'm a great father. I am wealthy. Opportunities flow to me. I'm abundant. I'm confident. I'm attractive. Whatever these thoughts are, or whatever this vision is for you, have this vision. Write a list of who you desire to be. As Neville says, you are who you desire to be. The only reason why you don't see it is because you're refusing to believe it. This is the opportunity to believe it. So you write this vision of who you're going to be for the next week. And all week long, you think thoughts from the vision realized. Okay, so I'm grateful that I'm so confident. It was so awesome how when I went and talked to those people, I had the confidence to share how I was feeling, or speak my truth, or make that YouTube video, or whatever it is that you're doing, right? All week long. And if you catch yourself dwelling or thinking an unresourceful thought, which you will, your job is to catch yourself immediately. Give yourself a minute. You can have a minute to catch yourself and change that thought. Either A, tell yourself stop in your head when you realize that it's programming that is going against the vision that you set for yourself, right? So if I had a thought, let's say my vision is I'm beautiful, and then I look in the mirror and I'm like, I don't really like my hair. Stop. I would catch myself in the middle of it and go, I really like your hair, or I look incredible with a hat, whatever it is, right? And replace that thought with either the opposite or stop yourself. You can think of things that you're grateful for, what's going right in your life. Any of the above are completely okay. The fact is, you just want to stop yourself from dwelling in unresourceful thoughts that go against your vision. Now, a couple of tips for this. I highly recommend that you check out Tony Robbins' 10-day mental diet. There's a little pamphlet that people have made that gives you a layout of how to do it. Or you can go on YouTube and type in 7-day mental diet tips. Again, there's a pamphlet on there, and I read this every morning. Now for me, it's more of just a lifestyle. It's not necessarily just a 7-day diet per se anymore. And read this and set the intention for the day that just for today, I'm going to think positive thoughts, resourceful thoughts. I'm going to give the meaning to the outside, the meaning that everything is beneficial for me, that everything's working out for me, that this is all for me, because ultimately it is. As we talked about before, you are the suggester and the suggestee within. There is no other cause besides you. There is no other power besides you. There is nothing giving anything meaning besides you. What we are doing here is stopping the habitual, unconscious, automatic responses to life. We are going from being a victim of our outside circumstances to being the cause, to being the power. And it'll only take a week for you to see this. Within a week, your life will get drastically better. You will feel way more empowered. You'll have more energy. You'll have a clearer mind. You're going to feel more confident. Life is going to feel better. Now, at first, it could be challenging to challenge these thoughts because these habitual thought patterns are so automatic and so powerful, and they've always been accepted at face value for so long that once they're first started to be stopped or questioned, they may come up with all the reasons in the world as to why it's so. This is where it's important to remember, I am not my thoughts. I have a body so that I can be here in this 3D reality. If my body wasn't here, I'd be in the 4th dimension. And I have thoughts. Again, it's part of this 3D reality. And it is needed. And the mind is beneficial. However, the mind is beneficial only if I am using it consciously for how I desire to be. If the mind is using me, it is not a beneficial tool. It's very, very, very hurtful and scary and not a good place to be. So in this diet, you were taking control of your mental faculties. You were deciding what everything is going to mean. You were deciding what you were going to think. You were deciding how life is going to be for you. So wake up in the morning, set the intention that just for today, I'm going to find how everything's working for me perfectly. I'm going to give the meaning of everything outside as, if you need to, everything is lovingly rearranging itself. And then go back to your diet. Live from your internal world completely. I promise you, you will set yourself free. You will see circumstances change for the better. I'm going to give an example of this before I end the video. The first time I saw this was about 4 or 5 years ago when I first started practicing the law. And I had this manager that seemed like she was against me. And all day I had these inner conversations about her and how she was unfair and all this different stuff. I ran into Neville and I thought, you know what? Let me try it. Let me try visualizing her congratulating me. Let me visualize myself being in a different department and her being so happy for me. At first, it felt so unreal. And it's like I'm lying to myself and this doesn't feel natural. And she definitely doesn't feel that way. I persisted and I persisted and I persisted and I visualized. And about 3 weeks later, I'm going to the department that I visualized. I got the position that I visualized. And she was there with the, I don't know what you would call him, a regional manager or something like this. And she was crying because she was so happy that I got this promotion. From that point, our relationship was awesome. We got along. In fact, she was very nice to me. She still stayed the same for everybody else, right? But the thing is she could no longer behave the same way in my reality because I changed. And that's what I realized through practicing Neville. My inner conversations change how everybody shows up in my world. Now, she was the same to everybody else. However, to me, she wasn't, right? That's the power of inner conversations. And that's just a small portion. But here's the thing. If I have the ability to change how another creator shows up in my world, well, then I have all the power. What could I manifest that's more powerful than that? So stick to the 7-day mental diet. It will absolutely change your life.